Hello, and welcome to the Recappables, a podcast on the Ringer Podcast Network. I'm Amanda Dobbins, the culture editor for The Ringer. Today I am joined by Micah Peters.
Amanda.
Okay, no.
Hi.
I'm so upset. We've been doing this for 15 seconds. I'm so upset. All right.
I have to do that.
So that was Micah Teddy Perkins Peters. And also today, Justin Charity.
Yeah, one take Drake.
Yes.
In the building.
Guys, I need your help. I'm at this big party at Drake's house, and I'm dying.
Oh, man.
No, I don't even care. I need a photo with Drake because my Instagram is weak as fuck.
What are you talking
I'm just being real. My shit, look, I got Lottie,
Chicken.
Lottie, meat, chicken. I know exactly which one you're talking about. Lottie,
Delete the urn. Oh, yeah, so we can replace urn with Drake.
Right. This episode, Champagne Poppy, was written by Apr and not Justin Charity, but it basically could have been a Justin Charity episode. It is really serendipitous, Charity, that we have you with all of your Drake feelings on this particular episode of the Recappables. So, could you tell us why? Could you give me the summary of this episode and how you personally connected to it?
Sure. I mean, the basic setup is that there is a Drake party. The suggestion being that there's a party at Drake's house, so one of Drake's many houses in Atlanta. And so Van and her friends Candace, Tammy, and Nadine, they get all dressed up. And, they got a secret code, and they go to the caravan, and they get in the shuttle, and yeah, they are going to Drake's house for a night out to meet Drake.
A New Year's Eve night out to meet Drake.
A New Year's Eve party, right.
Just before,
high stakes situation.
Breeze past it, we need to acknowledge just right here that the driver of the Sprinter van
oh my God.
was extremely creepy. But anyway, continue.
I mean, no, but that's the basic setup. How far you want to go into? Because the setup is just that. The setup is Drake party.
I feel like
New
we
Year's
should
Eve. We about to meet Drake. All right?
Do you want to talk about how you feel about that?
I mean, I'm not trying to meet Drake on New Year's. I would meet Drake. I tell you what, I would meet Drake on Labor Day. You know what I mean?
Wait. Why would it be like?
Well, it's just Drake is not that high in my priority. I'll meet Karen O on New Year's Eve. I'm not trying to meet Drake. You know what I mean?
This is an incredible subject. Who would you meet on New Year's Eve before Drake?
This is delightful.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I would meet T-Pain on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And T-Pain comes up in this episode.
That's
so much
true.
fun.
Yeah, explain. So at some point, one of Van's friends leaves the Drake party to go to T-Pain's New Year's Eve party. Yeah.
Right. She was smart.
Right. And Charity, you would have been with her. We're just going to do awards. We do awards on the Recappables. Basically, the whole point of this episode is trying to take a selfie with Drake. And so then hijinks ensue. I feel like I say that about every episode of Atlanta, but this was a particularly... There were a lot of different bits folded into this particular episode.
There were a lot of hijinks.
Yeah, there was a lot of material in this quest to get a selfie with Drake, which I guess is true of life. So we'll do best scene first. Charity, your best scene.
I actually, it's a pretty low key scene, but it's sort of Van gets lost in the basement of quote unquote Drake's house and starts rifling through these large mahogany closets.
Yeah.
And she just sees these jackets.
Yes.
And she instinctively she's just smelling them and cradling these flight jackets.
She puts one on and
she
kind of hugs herself with it.
It's a very sensual moment.
In the mirror too.
Yeah.
It's just, but it encapsulates it just feels like it encapsulates a lot of women's relationship with Drake, frankly.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the definitive, this is what it is like to love Drake.
I can confirm that it was quite relatable. Yeah, Charity, it is both representative of all women's relationships to Drake. And it is sort of, if there is a thesis statement of this particular episode, it's probably that scene. It's Van trying to she's trying to get a selfie to show off to Earn, to prove that she's moved on, but it's also...
Right. The episode begins with them, pre-gaming, and she's, while everybody else is having a wonderful time enjoying themselves, she is looking at Ern's Instagram story or somebody else's Instagram story that Ern is in.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, this episode becomes about trying to win the breakup, which you can definitively win a breakup if you get a selfie with Drake.
I was going to say,
apparently.
again, 1,000% relatable. Also would be a great strategy for me.
Yeah.
Speaking of best scene, since you brought it up, my best scene, I'm going to go with that opening scene, which does involve all the Instagram. And Van describing her Instagram as like weak as fuck because it's just like kids and a chicken.
And also like the really lengthy conversation about IUDs.
Yeah, that's why.
That's very realistic.
That's actually why I chose it. That was a public service. It was
You
great.
still using condoms?
Yeah, it was great.
You keep talking like that, you're gonna have child number 2 tonight.
I got an IUD to block them KIDs.
You know what though? Them IUDs work.
You know what, y'all
Because
nasty.
I changed my shit up after Lottie, you know what I'm saying?
Don't get that copper IUD because that makes your periods worse.
Wait, no, it does? But whatever happened to condoms?
Bitch, how old are you?
Really?
You still using condoms? Are you in high school?
But you know what? I don't have kids and I also don't have HPV. Trick. Oh, really? Y'all gonna play me like Put that in your condom and fuck it.
Using condoms? What is this? What are you,
There was like
child?
a specific reference to don't do the copper IUD. I was pleased to see that on television. That was important. Thank you to the people of Atlanta. Okay, Micah, your best scene.
Yes, my favorite scene is Darius by the pool when he's
Oh, yeah.
so early on in the episode. As soon as they show up to the house, they all like eat an edible, and Nadine is like at the point of like praying for sleep high, basically. So she's out by the pool, and Darius is talking to her about Bostrom's simulation argument.
Have you heard of Bostrom's simulation argument?
No.
Well, basically, it just states that future civilizations must have immense computing power. And that if even a fraction of this were to run ancestral simulation, there's a high probability that it would be indistinguishable from reality to the simulated ancestor, i.e. us.
What?
Your simulation. Like a sim.
And then he's just kind of like trying to comfort her down in his own way. And it's also so great because there's just no acknowledgement of the fact that he witnessed a murder-suicide in the previous episode.
No, here's what I was going to say. I thought it was a nice acknowledgement. It was a gesture of, hey, Darius is okay. We're still in a world where he's here and
That
at
is
a
a
party.
different way to read it, yes.
And being himself. Well, I mean, sure. It's ridiculous. There's literally no acknowledgement that he's just been through the 40th, creepiest minutes of television, like in history, which I'm still not okay with. But this is
It was
kind of
very upsetting.
It was very upsetting.
this
I don't know if I can hold up any
I
line
really
on
don't.
this.
I wasn't expecting it.
Okay.
When I saw it on the TV guide.
How long are you guys gonna go? Keep going.
I don't know.
I'll wait. I'm here.
Okay, I'm done. I'll
I
stop.
was gonna say this is, I think, the 4th episode that has been not quite a bottle episode, but it's not. The gang is not together.
Mm-hmm.
But they have been doing really, I think, smart nods at, Darius shows up by the pool. Ern is on the Instagram, just as Ern was kind of in the backseat of the car. They're fighting. It is not plot continuity as we know it on a sitcom, which frankly is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt reassured. I thought this was Atlanta saying to me, Darius is still Darius. That's my take.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that there's also a different way to read it where you could just be like, maybe he just hallucinated the whole Teddy
that's
Perkins
true.
episode.
Yeah.
Which would be such a cop-out. But at the same time, it would make sense.
I think we'll never know, which is
We'll
kind of,
never
we'll
know.
literally never
We'll
speak of it
never
again.
be able to figure it out.
Yeah. All right. The next award, we got to do the best Drake Joker reference, and this is a category that is dedicated to Justin Charity. So isn't it nice to be among people who love you talking about an artist that you love?
Yeah, that's my daily experience.
Really?
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 Really,
That's
It's
you.
Yeah.
That's what you.
sort of,
that's-
it's a sort of
what's on the streets.
camaraderie.
So I feel like this whole episode was just filled with. It was perfect how many Drake jokes there were.
It was so good.
And I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? Because there's a great piece on The Ringer today by Victor Lukerson, which is just basically about how Drake is a monopoly, which is, I mean, it's a funny concept and it's also really, really true. And I felt that this episode, in just the amount of avenues in which it was possible to lightly mock Drake and or make a joke at the expense of Drake fans. It really filled a full episode of television. It was quite something. Charity, what was your favorite?
Once they get to the party, there's like there's a queue outside, and one girl doesn't make it into the party, even after going through the whole gamut of like getting in the van,
crying in the van,
crying. And
she also, she presents a piece of paper that looks like it's been folded in a back pocket for the better part of a year.
And she says it's Drake's signature on it, and that Drake personally invited her.
All right, who's first?
Drake invited me. That's his signature right there. Can I just... No, you don't have to call him. I was supposed to be here, not you! I was invited! I swear I was invited! You the best!
You the best! Obviously, best I ever had reference. She took it old school.
Yeah.
It would have been really funny. It also would have been funny. We would have also accepted I Am Media as she was getting carried back.
It's been almost a decade of Drake, I realized, with the You the Best. That was 2009.
Yeah. The recession.
A decade of Drake. How you doing?
How am I holding up?
Yeah.
Me personally?
Yeah.
Oh God. I mean, listen, I haven't gotten a physical in a long time. It's probably taken a toll on me. It's been a minute though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is like a question of why Drake for this episode. It's perfect timing because Nice for What came out last weekend. Yeah. And we're having like what feels like the third Drake renaissance of 2018. I'm not really sure. They happen every 2 weeks.
I feel like Glover's music career was always in a weird sort of conversation with Drake. And so in a way, like it seemed right that he chose to spoof Drake and Drake fans above anyone else, you know?
They bring it up in almost every interview he does on each album cycle.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
And I think also in a show that is at least ostensibly about the music industry, he is at this point really
Also,
the only pop star? Until Beyonce. I guess Beyonce tomorrow at Coachella will be back.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, it's like you were saying, Drake is a monopoly. Like there is nowhere on earth to hide from Drake.
I don't know. I do pretty fine until I showed up to work this morning with you people. I was doing all right. Actually. I listened to Nice for What up in the Equinox. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a total hater. I'm not a total hater.
Listen,
my best Drake joke was actually just kind of the van behavior that most represented what I would do in this situation, which is, Jerry, you alluded to it. She's just in the personal wing of the home. And after she goes through the closets, she makes her way into the bathroom and she just starts putting the scents on one by one.
Yes.
And I just want to say, like, whoever did the production design on this episode, like, thought through each of the products that Drake would have. It was a bounty on that shelf.
Good.
There were so many options.
It was just like Aesops and
exactly right,
like Keels and
she's just spraying all of them. It's 100% what I would do. I would beeline straight for the product counter.
My best Drake joke. There is a scene after Van is done wandering the bowels of Drake's mansion, finds her way to an old man trying to turn the TV on, on a recliner, and he's speaking nothing but Spanish. And there's a Mexican flag on the desk behind him. I don't know what kind of piece of furniture it was. Anyway, it's not a thing that they acknowledge until like the end of the episode, really, again. And she's just kind of like, she realizes that he's Drake's father. And then at the end of the episode, grandfather. And at the end of the episode, they're walking down the side of the road, and she just has an epiphany. She's like, "Oh my God, Drake's Mexican," which is really funny to me because, like, I also saw immediately after Nice for What came out, I saw a tweet that said Drake is Creole now, and it's really funny because he has in the last year been Creole. He's been from Peckham. He's been South African, Jamaican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, and now he's Mexican. So I thought that was
I feel
really
like
funny.
the other part of that joke is that, like, I wasn't completely sure of the interpretation, but I thought that the basic joke structure of the episode is that the edibles all kick in at radically different times, and so for Van, that's the edible kicking in, like, by the time the sun has come up. And then she's like, oh, Drake is Mexican. And she's, like, clearly high after, like, Candace and Tammy have already had their, like, supreme high moments.
I had a third interpretation. Well, which I will introduce with a question. Was this actually Drake's house?
I would bet that it is not.
Yeah. So
There's no way of knowing.
Right. So we should point out that the reveal is that Drake's not there, which, by the way, it's great. It's in the scene Micah just mentioned. There's like a wall calendar
that just says European
and
tour.
like magic marker and the last 2 weeks are X'd out. And then they happen upon a room where women are charging, some very enterprising women are charging $20 for a selfie with a poster board cut out of Drake. Again, a thing I would probably do. And then $30. If you paid $30, you could get some free Puma slides also, which
the Fenty slippers.
It's great. But so Drake's not there, which was pretty obvious. Though I gotta say, if this is the circle of trust, there is at least 15% of me that was just kind of like waiting for Drake to show up on the screen and was like really excited about it. And I was just like, I can't wait till Drake shows up. Yeah. Drake's gonna be here. Drake was not there. I was just really Van for this whole episode. So, but was it his house? Was it his house?
No, I mean, like, if you were going to, I bet that it was just kind of like a mansion that, or like they Airbnb'd some shit or whatever. Like the two girls that were selling the selfies, probably set the whole thing. Because all you need is the Sprinter van, like some clandestine stuff about, like, you know, you can't know where you're going, don't give out the address. And then just create the mystique of Drake around the thing. And it's just like, it's any mansion.
You also need Drake to not be hosting a party in Vegas for New Year's Eve, which is something that he has done before as someone who follows Drake's movements. And also the giant billboards on Sunset being like, party with Drake on New Year's Eve. I took the last line as a joke at Van not really putting the pieces together. Partially, maybe also because she's partially high. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. Anyway,
we solved it.
Still very funny. That's great. Yes, we did. We solved it. Drake isn't real. All right. As I mentioned earlier, this is 4 episodes now without kind of any forward plot. The last time we saw Ern was when Ern and Van broke up really angrily in a weird fake German town. Right. With like a creepy wolf character wandering around. We don't really have a huge update on Al's music.
Literal demon. Yes.
A literal demon. We don't have an update on Al's music career. We don't know what's going next.
I'll tell you what's going to happen next.
Tell me what's going to happen next.
Drake is going to hop on a Paperboy remix. And Paperboy's going to end up on OVO Sound Radio.
Yeah.
Oh, his career's going to end because, like everybody else on
exactly.
OVO Sound
And then Drake is going to take his laptop.
Yeah. So I guess
how are we not writers on this show? Okay, I'm sorry.
I think you basically are. I was going to ask you guys a serious question, which is like, do you feel like you need to go back and check in on any of those characters? But instead, you're just like pitching spinoffs. So I kind of feel like I know.
I think that you do. I would like some return to normalcy around like the way that the plot is constructed, but at the same time I've enjoyed these last couple of episodes.
Yeah, I have as well. And at this point I'm kind of like I'm still so salty at the Ern character after the breakup and after that very devastating episode that I don't really care what's up with him. It's fine if he's just like
I really don't want to go through that again.
He's just like sitting in the backseat of the drive-thru and I'm not interested. So I do feel like it'll be interesting to see how they get back to all of them. Because now we just live in this alternate reality of fake Drake parties.
Yeah. Well, you mean my dream. That's my dream.
That's
I don't know what you're disputing about this.
Yeah. So this was, I guess we can call this a non-Drake episode.
Yeah.
So I think for our last category, we're going to do the non-Drake MVP. Because from my eyes, it's very clear that the idea of Drake is the MVP. And it's not fair to award it to anyone else. No, but all right. The MVP of the episode, besides the specter of Drake, Charity.
It's Van. Van just did such a good job of representing the faction of Drake fandom that I am sympathetic toward and that I do like and find like endearing. She's like the arch Drake fan. I liked that.
I mean, she is, because I can speak to that personally. I do think she also, it was a great post-breakup, New Year's Eve, none of this matters. It's like, that situation of this is supposed to be a special occasion and I'm not in the mood and I don't want to try at this.
Right.
And I'm still just trying to get my feelings back together. Again, it's a very relatable feeling presented in the most bizarre way that can possibly be imagined, which is, what this show is very good at. I feel for her. It seems like she's getting it together a little. That's the one thing I would say for her, is that she was a little... She didn't take the selfie for one, but it seemed like she was ready to move on by the end of the episode. She was like, this isn't real and we got to go now.
Yeah,
so that's good.
I mean,
right?
like, if you're talking about the arc from, like, walking in the door and shoving her phone in the dude's face and being like, where's Drake? I want to take a selfie.
Totally. That's true.
Yeah.
My only concern is that I hope this is not the last we see of Van.
Oh, do you? Yeah, it's weird. The show's relationship to her does feel kind of touch and go.
And I would say
that I don't.
Yeah, in this season, she's been more present in a way.
Yeah.
Which is great. But you kind of do wonder, again, it's just kind of, we have been far away enough from the, quote, plot at this point that I am very curious to see how they'll steer it back together before. I think we have 4 episodes left in this season.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like, it's very plausible that, like, they've broken up completely and then, like, all of a sudden it's just kind of like you grow apart.
Yeah, but they have a kid together.
But they have a kid together. It's not like she'll be back. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see in what capacity.
Right. I'm going to go next. My non-Drake MVP is pretty quick. It's Gail Bean as Nadine, who was the friend who took the gummy and then called the police. And was just really, and then talks with Darius, was really just a delight.
Me and Darius figured out that I am nothing. We're all nothing. It's assimilation, Van. It's all fake.
That is,
wow.
That's concise and...
Yeah.
I was going to say that mine was Darius because I wasn't here to say it was Darius last week. So Darius has been MVP two weeks running for me. That conversation about the pool is just really the most perfect version of Darius there could possibly be.
It's true. And he didn't really... he was himself last week, and I thought we talked about this a little bit on last week's episode, Recappables, the idea that how the show is really good is that you put Darius in the Teddy Perkins situation, and everything that he does makes a lot of sense, even as he's trying to talk the creepy guy down and talk about families, etc. He does it earnestly, and it completely clicks.
Yeah.
But he did have to play the straight man a little, and he didn't get to be as creative as we might like him to be.
Exactly. I would say creative is one way to put it. Completely uncoupled from reality is another.
He's finding a new reality.
Well, what is reality
anyway?
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Anyway.
All right. The shadow of Teddy Perkins.
Amanda.
No.
Amanda,
okay, guys.
The Matrix is telling me that the steak is juicy and delicious.
Amanda, do you think Micah missed an opportunity to declare me the MVP of this episode? Maybe just as like a magnanimous gesture, since we're separated by offices. I don't see Micah much. We don't have, you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
We trade in rivalry. Like, I just felt like he kind of missed an opportunity with that one. That's fine.
You transcended great personal animus to come on this podcast.
There's no way that you would ever accept an olive branch from me, though. That's the thing.
Or from Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I would accept an olive branch from Micah before Drake. Sure, that's fair.
Okay. Well, this was a really inspiring display of friendship and camaraderie and fellowship in Drake today. And I want to thank you, Justin Charity, for overcoming your personal hate to be on this podcast. And thank you, Micah Peters, for your creepy voice work.
Thank you.
And
Young Money.
Yeah, oh my God. Okay. All right. Please play some Drake so these two can stop talking. Thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you
Everybody get
next
your
week.
roll on.
Everybody get your motherfucking roll on. I know shorty and she doesn't want no slow song. Had a man last year, life goes on. Haven't let the thing loose, girl, in so long. You been inside, know you like to lay low. I've been peeping what you bringing to the table.
One last note, our theme song was made by our friends at songfinch.com. Check out Songfinch to turn your stories, memories, and even your feelings into a one-of-a-kind song by professional musicians. It makes the perfect gift for any occasion. That's songfinch.com.
I choose you. Sacrifice.
Great things come from great pain.
It's a shrine to, Joe Jackson. So, oh man,
Marvin Gaye Sr.
Marvin Gaye Sr., Sam Cooke Sr., Sammy Davis Sr. Yeah, man, I'm sure that I can imagine. No, you can't. No, you can't. Would you still like the glass of water? Perhaps we'll put it in some Voss and Fiji and
Poland Springs.
Poland Springs. Just put it all together for you. We'll be right downstairs in a minute. Wash your hands immediately.
Don't eat the fries in, damn.
Put some mince fries in there for you. Take them out. Don't eat fries in, damn. Fuck y'all want from me, man? Y'all racist as hell up in here.
Oh.